to have a look at the top 10 secrets cruise lines don't want you to know. If you have ever sailed on a cruise ship before, the chances are that there was at least one thing that left you confused, or simply wondering why nobody told you about it when you booked the cruise.
I have absolutely no idea what's going on.
Sadly, many of those issues occur over and over again, and are completely the fault of the cruise line, or some are out of control of the line itself, but they still don't keep passengers informed, or at least they don't tell you until they have to do. So just what are the secrets that cruise lines love to keep from cruisers? That is exactly what we'll look at in this list, as we take you through what we believe to be the top 10 secrets cruise lines don't want you to know. Some of the things in this list are hidden deep in the small print of your cruise contract, while some just go unmentioned. As ever, don't forget to like and subscribe, and why not leave a comment below, and we would love to hear your views on this list. My name is Darren, and this is our look at the top 10 secrets cruise lines don't want you to know. So, you've spent hours trying to decide on the perfect holiday and are trying to work out your budget. And you are trying to work out your budget and how to fit the trip into it. Should you splash out on the balcony or enjoy some excursions? Should you book a huge mega ship or an older one? And should you visit your destinations at the perfect time of year or try and save a bit of money going out of season? That all takes time and effort to come to the answer, but when it all clicks, you often end up with a perfect itinerary and in the end, a dream holiday. But let's be honest, cruise lines don't care about any of that. If they get a better offer that guarantees a bigger profit for the ship for the same time you should be on it, they will cancel the itinerary and allow your ship to be chartered. Not all lines do allow chartering, but a surprising number do, including some of the biggest mass market lines out there. On just about every cruise ship from every cruise line, you will have to pay gratuities at a daily rate. Sometimes this is built into your cruise fare, sometimes you will pay a set extra price, and sometimes you will be charged a daily rate. But no matter how you pay for them, they are not compulsory. To start with, we will say that you really should pay, as it is sadly a big part of the wages for many members of staff, including numerous that you will never actually meet, so simply tipping serving staff instead is never a good idea. If you do have a really bad experience on the ship, to the point where the service from numerous members of staff really ruins your getaway, you can go to reception and ask for your gratuities to be refunded or taken off of your account. In fairness to cruise lines, they will make it perfectly clear that if you are late back to the ship, they will not wait for you, and it is up to you to get home or to the ship. What puts this on the list like this is for those who book on shore excursions with the line, as when you book direct with them, they always hint heavily that if a problem occurs, the ship will always wait for you. It does of course depend on the line you are sailing with, but with most, the ship will still only wait for small delays. But if you are caught up in something like a long traffic jam or you break down, or anything else that will take hours to sort, the ship will continue with its itinerary. Most lines you book a shore excursion with will organise for you to go to the next port of call to meet up with a ship, but in more remote places, this can mean you miss days or even the rest of your adventure. From CCTV to ring doorbells, we are all used to being on camera whenever we step outside of our front doors, but you may not expect that level of security on board a cruise ship. Just about every room, corridor and outdoor space is overseen by security cameras, and there are security guards walking around the ship to keep an eye on things. In the main, it is a good thing that the security is there, as just like any space with people, crimes do happen. But it is something to keep in mind and that the ships don't really tell you about. When booking a cruise holiday, we often look at the amount of time we will have ashore before deciding on the itinerary to book. In the main, the schedule's announced at what you will experience, but it isn't always the case, as sometimes you will get much less time than scheduled. If, like us, you like to plan what you are doing whilst on shore and even pre-book experiences and attractions, this can really ruin your day and end up costing you money. To be fair to the lines, it is often for reasons out of their control, such as bad weather, delays at the previous port, or the port you arrive at just not being ready for the ship. But in our experience, the issues can often be down to the line or the ship itself. One of the worst experiences we have had is a long delay of well over an hour in getting off of the ship due to the poor organisation on board. It was only a half day on shore to start with, so it cost us about a quarter of the time we would have had exploring. Many cruise ports that you visit are part of a vast commercial port that can stretch for miles and miles, which usually isn't a problem until the cruise port is full and you are the last ship in port. That can completely change the experience you have in a destination, from one where you dock centrally with great views and you simply stroll from your ship into town, to one where you end up docking in an industrial area with only views of run-down warehouses and then having to queue for shuttle buses to the port gate. This is something that gives the industry as a whole a bad name and causes some people to either not want to cruise or to never cruise again after their first experience, as the marketing of holidays is rife with lies and mis-selling. It is sadly an embarrassing fact of the industry that it is the majority of cruise lines that undertake such underhanded tactics to sell holidays. Things to look out for include special offer discounts that actually cost more than the full price was a week ago, second guest discounts offered after the price of the cruise has been doubled, and the often used tactic of putting the price of the cruise up to only then offer you the same amount as on-board credit. So then it costs you the same, but you are now limited in where you can spend your money. This is one of the most frustrating aspects of cruising for us, as if you're trying to stick to a tight budget, as likely most will do, having an unexpected extra cost can cause you problems, including having to miss out on an experience you were looking forward to. One of the worst experiences we had for this was on an Iberian cruise, where there was a $20 shuttle charge at just about every port we visited, just to get you from the ship to where we were supposed to be. This would have added nearly $200 extra each to the holiday if we did pay for it at every stop along the way. This is something that we always dread when booking a cruise holiday, as for me and my wife, a cruise is all about the places that we visit. Thankfully, it is something that only ever happens rarely, but when it does, you will get a dreaded email from the line to tell you that you will no longer be visiting the port you wanted to visit and will be heading somewhere else instead. This happened to us on our journey to America from Iceland, where we were supposed to visit the port of Kakatog in Greenland, but would have to change it to Nanatelek. We were given plenty of warning from Celebrity, were given the reason why, and in the end, we had a great day ashore. A much worse experience was with NCL, who cancelled a visit to Lexois close to Porto, which was one of the ports we were looking forward to the most. It was cancelled shortly before sailing, and no reason was given. One of the worst aspects of an itinerary change is that you can often receive an extra charge if the port fees are more to visit somewhere you have no interest in visiting. If you have booked an itinerary to visit a particular port of call that you have always wanted to go to, you may be in for a shock just a few hours before you are due to get there, as a visit to any port isn't guaranteed. There are plenty of reasons why that happens, with some such as bad weather or issues in the destination itself being out of the control of the line. But sometimes lines or captains just choose not to visit somewhere for the dreaded operational reasons. Sometimes lines will not be honest with cruisers, presumably to not have to deal with complaints, as we have first-hand experience of a captain announcing that due to high winds, they couldn't dock at the port, only to see online that the port was fully booked, but with no booking for the ship in question. So all that remains to be said is thank you so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed our look at the top 10 secrets cruise lines don't want you to know, and see you next time.